What is going on? Tgreenman in the house. So, it's a little late video, but I just had a epiphany. And that epiphany came to me through, I guess the reality, my true reality of who I am as a person. I'm not a spiteful person. I'm not I tend to compete, but it's not a competition out of trying to be a better person or look better. It's usually because survival. I've had to survive a lot in my life. I've died died once, almost died like 5 times, from literally 2 weeks after I was born to almost bleeding to death a couple times, to almost drinking myself to death a couple times, and so on. Being abused, a lot of things I've had to grow through, abusing myself, so after I kind of gotten better and wiser as I've grown, I tend to hold on to I guess their defense mechanisms, per se. One of those defense mechanisms is I'm very witty, quick and witty, especially if I feel like you're attacking me, because then I go into survival mode, which doesn't tend to get me very far all the time. It's not really what I represent, if you get what I'm saying. Through all that I've been through, I've also had a very beautiful side of that. Had a lot of people who have helped me when I was hurt very bad, when after being abused by my life or whatever, after I'd abused myself, people helped lift me back up again. They cared for me, and it was people that I never expected to care for me. Even going through this new issue with this thyroid, I thought it would be a simple fix, medication, but it's taking time, and it is what it is. I have to work with it. Stuff to get these surgeries too, and a lot of things have to change. I have to start taking care of myself better, and with that, I can't allow myself to engage in things that especially have no ending. And like, if I feel like I'm just talking to talk and explaining things, but we're not coming to any kind of conclusion of what needs to be done, especially if the conclusion itself doesn't really conclude. So I've decided I really need to focus on building myself, to really encourage people to become themselves, so that we all can stand up and stop projecting. And that's really the main thing I've got to stop doing. Even though I may feel that my response to something may be good, or have a reason, or use virtue for because my feelings get hurt, it only feeds the ego, and I don't really need to feed the ego. That's not what I'm about. I know I come off that way because of my confidence and who I am, but usually people who put off what I put off are either a jackass, or B, somebody who's really protecting themselves from being hurt. Because I've been hurt probably the worst ways a grown man can be hurt. Not really as a grown man, because a lot of it happened as a kid, but as a grown man, I've also experienced a lot. Lost my brother. That's pretty intense, especially losing him to something that I fought with. Being an alcoholic, quitting drinking, and then losing your brother while you're in your sobriety it's definitely an eye opener. you get to see the full circle. You're the one hurting somebody, and now you're getting hurt by somebody else's actions. So that was definitely something to see as an adult that, can't really buy that. So there's definitely a lot of experiences in my life that, even though painful, were definitely necessary. And I don't think I would ever ask for them not to have happened. But I do try to appreciate the moments that happen after those moments when, somebody comes through and really helps you. So I know that in a lot of dark times, sorry, thyroid, but a lot of dark times, we tend to project our emotions, and it's because we think it's the only way to fight back, but it's not. You have to look into yourself and realize who you really are, not what other people tell you you are, not what other people decide for you. You have to really look at yourself and decide, am I ready to be me? Or am I going to keep hiding? And I've decided that I'm ready to be me. I'm ready to be Tgreenman. I'm ready to run my business. I'm ready to help people. I'm ready to help my friends, my family. I'm ready to become better at relationships. I'm willing to work on my own obsessions. I'm willing to listen to opinions more, if they're constructive. Meaning, I like opinions that have understanding behind them, not just blind opinions. I want to just be a better person. And I don't really think there's such thing as being better, but I guess more efficient. To me anyways, there's no right or wrong, bad or good. People are who people are. When you make a choice to take an action that you know you don't want to do, and if you do want to, you already know the consequences before you take that action, whether it be consciously or subconsciously. We already know. When you steal, you know that there's a possibility you can get caught, but you also know there's a possibility you might get away. And that's really life. Yin yang, 50-50 everything. Not to say that there's A or B. A lot of times there's other things in the situation. That's where you get, contrasted spectrums. Life is definitely a spectrum. Depending how open your eyes are to see the spectrum, it's really on you. But being open to see a spectrum isn't being open through what you understand. Being open to see a spectrum is being able to see a spectrum through all aspects of beliefs and not judging those beliefs. It's about accepting people for who they are. Because how can you change somebody who's evil without first accepting them? And I think that's the problem with society. Not to say that what they're doing is right or what they did was right, but just accepting them on the premise that they were conscious of what they were doing before they made an action. And at least that aspect, you can respect it. Because now they have to face whatever consequences come for that action. And that's life. The universe responds. You can't control it. Whether you want to or not, you'll always be under the universe. The universe is always going to have something greater, just like there's always going to be someone stronger. There's always going to be a better food to taste. There's always going to be something new discovered every day. The universe is always expandingly growing. In fact, there's ships flying, and every day the universe gets a little bigger. So just keep that in mind. And, I hope this kind of helps somebody, who's fighting in their life, because, I'm definitely fighting. I'm being kind of calm right now, but yeah, I'm fighting for my life. So I definitely am going to win, and I'm not going to insert myself in things that are trying to bring me down, because crabs are always trying to pull crabs down in a barrel. That's just how it works. Always trying to pull crabs down until the crab realizes its own value and climbs out on its own. Those are the smart crabs. The crabs that keep trying to pull other crabs or get involved and do all these things without climbing out of the barrel first, you're always going to get pulled back down. So try to be that smart crab that climbs out and climbs on top of all the other crabs and just gets out. And then when you get out, you can try to pull the other crabs out. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to pull it from the top than it is to be there holding on to you, pulling up. I mean, it's still not easy to pull them out, but if you were able to get out on your own, you'd be pretty strong at that point. So before I ramble on too long and make this video too much longer, since we're at 10 minutes, I'm gonna say peace and have a good night or morning. It's like 12 o'clock here, so later.